1969 was a soulful storm, Motown in its prime, voices raw with emotion, and grooves that moved a nation. The Delfonics were whispering sweet heartbreak into every radio dial. Meanwhile, the Temptations were tearing the roof off with a psychedelic soul explosion. These are 10 unforgettable R&B classics from '69 that still echo in our hearts today.
Someday we'll be together.
Number 10, Can I Change My Mind by Tyrone Davis.
If I could turn back the hands of time, it would be with Mr. Tyrone Davis!
The slow plea that became a surprise smash. Originally a B-side on Dakar Records, this 1969 release flipped into a chart-topping hit after DJs couldn't stop spinning it.
But she would start to cry.
Tyrone Davis, once of LA for bluesman Freddie King, sang like a man waking up too late, his voice dripping with regret and velvet sorrow. The horns stab, the bass sways, and suddenly you're back in a smoky Chicago lounge, drink in hand, rethinking everything.
Baby, let me change my mind.
A last-minute studio session produced the track in just a few takes, capturing that raw magic you can't fake. It hit number 1 on the R&B chart and number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100. Davis wasn't supposed to be a star, but with this one track, he changed his whole fate.
Hey, baby. Hey, baby.
If that was love slipping through your fingers, the next track is Love Catching Fire. Number 9, Oh What a Night by the Dells, a doo-wop dream reborn for a new generation. Originally recorded in 1956, the Dells re-recorded their classic for Cadet Records in 1969.
And hope that maybe you'll come around again.
And this time, it exploded. With lush horns, silky harmonies, and Marvin Jr.'s thunderous baritone anchoring the song, Oh What a Night.
Oh, what a night.
Soared to number 1 on the R&B chart and became their biggest crossover hit. It's more than nostalgia. It's a masterclass in reinvention. The new arrangement is fuller, slower, drenched in orchestral soul. Imagine a prom dance floor in mid-sway, platform shoes scuffing under glittery lights, hands clasped tight like promises never to break. This track proved that the old school could still school everybody. And the Dells? They carved their name in the marble of soul history. From A Night to Remember, we move to A Cry You'll Never Forget. Number 8, Baby I'm For Real by the Originals, Marvin Gaye's secret masterpiece.
Baby, baby, baby.
Motown's Marvin Gaye stepped into the producer's chair for this one, crafting a stunningly bare ballad that defied the label's polished pop formula.
You cry, I wonder why you cry.
Released on Soul Records in 1969, the Originals delivered it with aching simplicity. Strings, doo-wop harmonies, and a lead vocal that bleeds sincerity.
But if you want to know the truth about it, girl, I desperately live.
What most don't know, Marvin fought hard to keep this track stripped down. Berry Gordy almost shelved it, thinking it was too quiet to be a hit. But the people proved him wrong. It climbed to number 1 on the R&B chart and became a slow dance anthem for lovers across the country.
Baby, baby, baby.
You can feel the living room lights dim, the crackle of vinyl, and the closeness of someone who means it. Every I love you after 1969 owed something to this song. But hold on, because the next track comes from the streets of Philly with a punch and a falsetto. Number 7, Didn't I Blow Your Mind This Time? By the Delfonics, Heartbreak Dressed in Velvet. Released in late '69 on Philly Groove Records, this Tom Bell-produced gem was cinematic soul at its finest. William Hart's falsetto drifts over shimmering strings and mournful horns, telling a story of love lost and lessons unlearned. This wasn't just a breakup song, it was an operatic goodbye. It whispered instead of screamed, and that's what made it unforgettable. Bell, one of Philly soul's architects, created a sound so lush it felt like silk and smoke. Didn't I won a Grammy, cracked the top 10, and became one of the defining sounds of Philly soul. And for every listener who ever loved Too Hard, Too Fast, it blew their mind every time. If this one was the tear, the next is the fire behind the eyes. Number 6, I Can't Get Next to You by The Temptations. When Motown went electric.
Famous recording stars, The Temptations, singing their newest hit, I Can't Get Next to You. So let's have a pleasant welcome for it.
Released on Gordy Records in 1969, this was Motown on acid. The Temptations deepened their psychedelic soul phase, with Norman Whitfield twisting knobs and expectations.
I can turn the gray sky blue.
The opening is pure chaos. Each temptation takes a line and call and response, stacked like voices in your head. Then the groove drops like a sledgehammer. This was Dennis Edwards leading the charge, with Eddie Kendricks and David Ruffin still echoing in spirit.
Make a ship sail on dry land.
The fuzzed out guitar, the clavinet, the driving beat. It was like watching a polished suit burst into flames. It shot to number 1 on both the R&B and Hot 100 charts, proving that soul could evolve and still rule.
I can turn back the hands of time. You better believe I can.
It wasn't just about romance anymore. It was urgency, ego, power, and frustration, wrapped in a funk groove. And speaking of evolution, if these classics from 1969 are bringing back memories, give this video a thumbs up. It helps us keep the soul alive. And stick around. We've still got 5 more timeless tracks that defined a generation. Number 5, It's Your Thing by the Isley Brothers. Independence with a funky strut. When the Isley Brothers broke away from Motown in '68, many thought they'd vanish. But in 1969, they came back swinging with It's Your Thing, a self-produced, self-released anthem on their T-Neck label. It was freedom on wax. The bass hits like a heartbeat. The horns shout with swagger. And Ronald Isley sings like he's cutting ties with every bad deal behind him. It was a declaration of artistic independence. Do what you want to do wasn't just a lyric, it was a mission. The song hit number 1 R&B and earned them a Grammy. It also kicked open the door for funk's takeover in the '70s. You can hear its DNA in Prince, in Outkast, in anyone who ever did it their way. But now, let's head back to the church, because this next voice still echoes through heaven's halls. Number 4, Take Me to the River by Al Green, the baptism of soul. Wait, released later by Al Green in the '70s, right? True, but it was written in 1969 with Teenie Hodges, born out of the gospel soul sessions that defined the high record sound. While not released until '74, its writing and spiritual birth make it part of the '69 soul tapestry. This was Green's exploration of sacred and sensual, salvation and sin, the tension of being torn between body and soul. You could hear the choir in the distance, the Mississippi heat rising off the organ keys. Though the Talking Heads famously covered it later, the original remains a blueprint for blending gospel roots with secular groove. It's a song you feel more than hear, and speaking of songs you feel in your bones. Number 3, Hot Fun in the Summertime by Sly and the Family Stone, Joy in the Key of Freedom. Released post-Woodstock in August 1969, this track was pure sun-soaked celebration.
County fair in the country sun.
Sly and the Family Stone had already changed music with their integrated lineup and fusion of funk, soul, and rock. But this was simpler, a groove for good times. The strings dance, the rhythm lingers like sweat on your skin, and Sly's vocal is warm and wistful. Written just as the summer of love was turning into something darker, Hot Fun felt like one last golden hour. It reached number 2 on the Hot 100 and remains a timeless cookout staple on vinyl, cassette, or Bluetooth speaker. But next, we get raw, we get real. We go to Memphis. Number 2, Try a Little Tenderness, Live '69, by Otis Redding, the soul sermon that shook Monterey.
Never possess, no.
The studio version hit in '66, but Otis's live renditions, especially those resurfacing in '69 posthumously, cemented this song in eternity.
Easy, not too bad.
Backed by Booker T and the MGs and recorded in venues across Europe and America, Otis transformed a sweet ballad into a full-blown explosion. By 1969, fans rediscovered these performances on live albums and bootlegs. His voice cracks, growls, pleads. It's church, it's sweat, it's sex, it's sorrow. You can hear the audience losing control. Women screaming, men holding back tears. Otis didn't just sing to you, he testified. And now, number 1, a song that's haunted, loved, sampled, and never forgotten. Number 1, Someday We'll Be Together by Diana Ross and the Supremes. The perfect farewell.
Now Diana Ross is continuing her career as a single star. And now, in their last television appearance together, here's Diana and the Supremes singing.
Released in October 1969 as Diana Ross's last track with the Supremes, this was both an ending and a beginning. Produced by Johnny Bristol, the track wasn't originally meant for the group.
Here's Diana and the Supremes singing their current #1 record, Someday We'll Be Together.
But once Diana laid down the vocal, magic happened. Ross sings with longing, strength, and a touch of goodbye. Backed by studio singers rather than her longtime Supreme sisters, it marked the end of an era. But what an ending. It topped both the R&B and Hot 100 charts. It played as the final performance of the original Supremes, and it still closes out Motown memories with grace. Every tear on a bus ride home, every slow dance at the end of the night, this song was the soundtrack. And someday, we're still listening.
Someday we'll be together.
From Chicago blues to Detroit elegance, from Philly falsettos to California sunshine, 1969 gave us soul that still stirs the spirit. Thanks for joining us on this Soul Stroll. Subscribe to keep the groove alive and never miss our next journey through time. Up next, 10 obscure R&B soul bands from 1967. Click it and let's keep the rhythm rolling.